Hello, beautiful being. I'm Trini. Welcome to In Her Dreams. Welcome to your reading. I'm grateful that you're taking time to tune in and see what messages are coming in for you from Spirit. I've got Delilah with me, Ashe. She actually pulled a couple cards for you. She was pulling at them, and I knew that Spirit was guiding me to take a look at those for you. So I've already pulled some cards, but before we get into those, I want to take a moment to anoint the space, the energy with my ritual blend, Infinite Blessings. You may have felt like your blessings were too hard to come by for a while. You may have felt separated from your blessings, but that time is over. You are fully aligned with the energy of divine blessings, of abundance, peace, prosperity, and divine love. Ashe, so must it be on all dimensions. Okay, so the cards that came through, beautiful being, there's been an entanglement that you have been dealing with, okay? But a cycle is over for you, okay? I'm so grateful that it's over because I can see that you have suffered a great deal because of an energetic entanglement. Someone's energy, several people's energy was intertwined, and there were multiple people who were siphoning your energy or trying to constantly siphon your energy. Okay, this situation caused a lot of heartache for several people who were involved. Okay, and I feel like that was with you as well. I feel like there was a lot of heartache that you experienced. There may have been something that came to an end for you with that. This is good. I think that what Spirit is bringing through is that something came to an end, but it needed to come to an end. And so even though it hurt to let go, you have allowed yourself to move forward, okay? There might be some memories that are coming to you about this situation with the remembrance card, okay? Divine is bringing through that there's no need to ruminate over anything emotional that you've been through in the past that you now realize you have power over. Because I keep seeing that wheel. I keep seeing you moving forward. I keep seeing that there is an end of a cycle that caused you a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, and that sometimes still comes to mind. But Divine is saying that you have ascended above the need to achieve conquest over anyone. Okay? Now at this point, it's about boundaries. You've already won. You've already done the work that you needed to do in order to understand and to learn. And now it's just time to move forward with boundaries. You may still be tested. Okay, that's been coming through. You may still be tested because as this cycle is coming to an end, you know, it's like anytime there's something karmic that you are cutting cords with, you will be tested. You set your boundaries. You understand that it's not good enough for you. That situation didn't serve you, so we got to say goodbye, right? You realize that. But then after you set your boundaries with this person, with this being, with this situation, it is always guaranteed that if you are truly meant to let go of this situation or of this person or of this attachment, okay, you will be tested. Your boundaries will be tested. Your commitment to yourself will be tested. And so there's someone here with an entity attachment that still wants access to your energy. They know that their time is up. They're very aware of this. But there's resistance there, okay? That resistance is happening because they had such high hopes for how they thought things were going to end up with you. They wanted a situation where they had easy access to your energy. They wanted a situation where you were constantly letting them in and allowing their energy to separate you from your true path, from your true calling, from your true purpose, from your abundance, and from your contentment in life. They did not want you to be happy. They wanted to siphon your happiness from you. And when you cut them off, it sent them into a shock, because this being that was trying to attach itself to you is not often tested. A lot of people allow them to pull the okie doke over on them and do what it is that they do by manipulating them. A lot of people give in to this person's love bombing, their constant flattery. But you never bought it. And as soon as you were aware of what it was, you absolutely said no. So this separation between you, this ending that's happening now, I feel like for some of you, this is a coworker that is now being relocated, or maybe they've lost their job. It's someone who is having to distance themselves from you. Truth be told, they don't want to distance themselves from you, but the universe has said enough. Enough. So for some of you, it's a coworker. For some of you, it's an ex-lover. You knew that this person was not right for you, and you created space between you energetically, but they were not okay with that space. And so they've tried to inch their way back into your energetic realm more and more, and you have not allowed them to do that. For some of you, you have moved the boundary line a couple times, and that's just because you had to adjust. You needed time to adjust to these changes. You had to build your strength. It was a process. It didn't happen overnight. So sometimes you may have allowed this person back in, but you always came back and you said, I know what the truth is. You always knew what the truth was, and you would realign with that. And now you're aligned with your truth. Divine is saying that by the summer, there's a deeper level of healing that is going to, that you're going to benefit from with this situation. Okay? So by the summer, you are going to experience even more clarity and more true separation from this person. Okay? Know that with any tests that you are sent where this person is trying to reel you back in with any sort of drama, know that first of all, if this is like, because what I'm seeing is that the person that has separated themselves from you, they may try to bait you into feelings of isolation, and what I mean by that is they may throw some sort of event or try to create some situation where people are coming together and you're not invited. Please know that that's because you're not invited to the bullshit that they're trying to infiltrate into your life and other people's lives, because you are not the only person that this being has tried to manipulate. They've got multiple storylines going. Okay? And as busy as they have been trying to siphon your energy, they had time to be toxic elsewhere as well. Okay? That is what is leading this person to their demise, is because they have invested so much time and energy into trying to create catastrophes for other people that their entire world became one big catastrophe. And they are very dedicated to trying to present an illusion where their world isn't crumbling. They're very good at this. They've done it for most of their lives, and this is because of where they have come from. They're very used to hiding their shame. They're very used to knowing what brings them to their knees and avoiding the appearance of that, because they don't want to be seen in a negative light, okay? But the most important thing is for you to remember that you don't have to give in to any sort of illusion. You don't have to give in to any sort of projections of isolation, because this person feels very isolated. They don't feel understood at all. And so they don't want you to feel understood and surrounded by love. But you are. You are. So Divine is bringing forward the energy of vigilance. They're saying to be vigilant with your energy. Also, this is coming through very specifically as something that's needed for a toxic family. I feel like your realm has been eyed recently by someone in your family who has demonstrated a very toxic pattern. And what was coming through earlier, and this comes through with this Four of Pentacles, because Divine was, this was one of the cards that Delilah pulled. Ashe, Delilah. Divine is saying to hold on to your energy at this time of not just your, you know, your emotional energy, but also your financial energy. Divine is saying to hold on to that, to protect it, because there's someone who's trying to regain or reestablish control in your world. And this could manifest itself through a toxic family member. That's what's really coming through. And they want to know if you will give them money. They want to try to create some sort of entanglement, some sort of energetic entanglement where they're able to access your energy through your finances. This is also because of curiosity about your finances. This person is very blown away by your abundance, and they want to know how you have access to it. They want to know how you got the things that you did, how you manifested them, how is it that you live as well as you do. So they want to sort of maybe gauge how much you're willing to give them, and that's what they would be like, oh well, if you gave them a lot, they'd be like, oh, they're doing really well, if they're trying to get information about your finances. So they're trying to figure out where you are financially based on the amount that you are willing to give them. So just beware of that. You know, what was coming through earlier in meditation is that you may feel like if this person, and they are toxic family, if that's what you're experiencing right now, you may feel indebted to them for something that they did for you. Maybe this person stepped in to help you at a time in your life that you needed it. Or maybe this person, for some of you, this could be a parental figure, someone who stepped in when a parent was not available, okay, or did not make themselves available as a parent. So this person may have stepped in to take care of you in some way. So there might be this feeling of, oh, well, I have to do what they want, or I have to give them money, I have to do whatever. Divine says to do what resonates with you to do. Divine also says to look at the pattern of how things have gone between you, because I feel like for a lot of you, since Divine is bringing this through as a very toxic family entanglement or attachment, boundaries are needed, and also an acceptance of who someone really is, not who you wish they were. Also an acceptance of saying no to a person who, yes, at one time was a positive figure in your life, but guess what? They had access to your energy as well. You have no debt with this person. You do not owe them any karma, okay? You have not accrued any negative karma with this person. You are debt free with this person because they had access to your energy. That's why they're toxic. They tuned into your energy and siphoned it at one time. And what I'm seeing is that this is a cyclical pattern. This person constantly does the same things over and over again. They may go through a phase where they're really sweet to you, and then they're more than likely doing some sort of love bombing, like being very flattering towards you, okay, wanting to flatter you and boost you up. They're wanting to reel you in, okay? And right now they may be using money or finances to work their way back into your energy. So please be aware of that, and please guard your energy, not only your emotional and spiritual energy at this time, but also your financial energy. And your finances are nobody's business. They don't need to know how much you're making and where your money is coming from and what you do to earn money. They don't need to know that. Do they pay your bills? I don't feel like this person does. So if if they don't, bye. You know what I mean? Divine is saying to feel confident in your boundaries with this person. Okay? Thank you, Spirit. All right. Yeah, with your new beginning, because I can see that there is new energy around you. Something has ended. A cycle is complete at this time for you. And this is really a big thing. It's really big. It's been coming through the reading, so I know you already know. But Divine is saying that at this time where you have your new beginning, please honor your energy through your boundaries. Remind yourself that you have a right to say no. Remind yourself that you don't have to make up any sort of payment or debt that you feel that you owe someone because they at once gave you good energy. They should have given you good energy because you gave them good energy. Okay? That's a wash now. You have every right to set boundaries, and please keep this in mind, because I feel like there's this entanglement situation with something that caused heartache, but then there's also this toxic family situation, and for some of you it might be something that was more painful at one time in your life, and then another situation that hurt you later on or earlier on. So I feel like there's multiple situations here where somebody might be trying to come back into your energy just to test you, and also because they have become very dependent on your reactions. They have become very dependent on your nurturing energy, and so that's what they want to access at this time. But Divine is saying that with that Nine of Wands, you're steady with your boundaries, and you're willing to say no. You're willing to not participate in any bullshit that you notice going on around you, or that you just simply intuit. Maybe you just have a, your spidey sense kicks in and you're like, I know there's some bullshit coming around the corner. You already see it coming. You feel it coming. Like that Weekend song, I feel it coming. All right, you feel these things. And so Divine is saying that you can set those boundaries at any point in time where you feel it is necessary. You don't have to wait to see how it all plays out. Sometimes your intuition will lead you to take a more laid back stance and just be like, we're gonna let this ride. I'm just gonna go with the flow. And then other time, that's when you're in your feminine energy. And other times you need to be pushing ahead and saying, I'm not putting up with this. We're gonna return to sender. You're active in your protection and in the energy that you are living in from day to day or at that specific time. Okay? But you can do what you need to do to protect your boundaries, to protect your energy. You're being guided to imagine and to create, okay? Because your creations are going to come from this imagination energy where you're allowing yourself to daydream. And Divine is saying to create scenarios in your mind of the best case scenarios possible for your creative endeavors, for your relationships. Visualize things working out. Visualize specifically. Set a scene in your mind of a relationship working out positively. It could just be one little short scene that you're imagining. Okay? But create something positive. A positive vision of that situation that you replay over and over in your mind. You can revisit it whenever you want to reinforce your positive manifestation power, okay? It's very important at this time to use your imagination for positive things in your life. Don't allow anyone to instill doubt inside you regarding the things that you love, regarding the things that you are manifesting, regarding the things that are important to you. Because with these entanglement situations, what they do is they wrap around your ideas and your passions, the things that you truly love. They wrap around them like a constrictor. And these demonic entities suck the life out of everything that's important to a beautiful being like yourself. And that's not your destiny. You are not going to allow anyone to take away any level of energy from your dreams, from your goals, from your relationships, your connections. Okay? They can't access that. All right. I want to pull from this archetype deck. And then I had a couple more oracle cards that I had pulled, so I'm going to go over those too. But I want to get some information on... okay, those are the blank cards. Wow, okay, this is really beautiful. I never pull these out of this deck box for my archetype ones. These are ones that you can create. Okay, and then I had also pulled Your Life is a Canvas. Okay, I got Delilah, so I want to make sure you can see that. There we go. Okay, your life is a canvas. So Divine is saying that your life is a canvas. You can create what you want to create in this world. You can take on whatever personality you need to in order to accomplish something. You come across to me as a person who can shift their moods. You have a broad spectrum of characteristics that you can encompass at any given time. So I feel like you would make a really good actor or actress simply because you're one of those like Angela Bassett, Sally Fields, Tom Hanks. I feel like so beautifully they're able to get into an emotional state that works for that character, for that scene. So you're able to do that. And Divine is saying to utilize this power that you have to take on different modes, different characteristics, different frequencies. Use that in your creative endeavors, and also use that in your interpersonal interactions, in your relationships. If you need to stand up for yourself in one given minute and then be tender and nurturing to someone that you love in another minute, you can do that. Okay? Don't be afraid to explore the spectrum of energies that are available to you. That's going to help you creatively and in your personal relationships. There's somebody who's begging. There's a beggar. There's somebody who really wants access to your energy. Dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Yeah, and that's the bottom line about whoever it is that's trying to get in your energy right now and siphon your energy. It's because they're not willing to do the work that's necessary, that they are so attached to your energy. And it's almost like they've been sent into a state of shock because you have expanded, you have arisen, you have come to life, and you have achieved the very best. The very best is what you have manifested, and they see that. And so they really want to skip on doing any effort or making any effort for themselves. They want to just take away your good vibes because they're not willing to generate their own good vibes, which is what they need to learn how to do. You've got seeker. There are people around you who are seeking. I'm seeing this with like low vibe entities just kind of like whirling around you because they can sense that you have got so much greatness that not only inside you, but that you're manifesting in the 3D. It's things that you can see and hear and touch and feel that you are creating and manifesting. And they just can't handle that. So not only can they sense the huge changes inside you, but because of that, because they sense your high vibe, they know that great things await you. And so they're seeking your energy. This is an inability to commit to a path once found. See, they found you. They had a direct connection to your energy. They were linked up like an IV, and they thought that they could siphon more from you. And because you have cut them off, because you have successfully cut those cords, they're looking and seeking and trying to find a way back in. For a lot of you, this is through distractions. They're trying to distract you in any way that they can, whether it's through love bombing or whether it's through trying to exclude you or send you back into some sort of state of anxiety. They need to realize that their tricks are old. They don't work on you anymore. Okay? You've got poet. All right, so Divine is saying that your life is poetry. Allow it to have a cadence. Allow it to have okay, so I took Spanish literature in college, and one of my professors was Dominicano. He was Dominican, and he would talk about el vaivén de la vida. El vaivén de la vida. So the coming and going of life, the flexibility. Divine is saying to remain flexible in your art, in your channeling the inspiration that you experience. Be flexible in what that looks like. You might be creating something one day, and then it seems to morph into something else another day. Also, one day you might be more into your creative state. Another day you might be more into your cleaning state, where you are detoxifying the energies around you by taking out trash, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, doing whatever, washing laundry, whatever it is that you need to do. Sometimes you might be in a restful state where you're just taking a nap. You might be in an indulgent state where you are, I don't know, eating some chocolate, drinking some wine, I don't know, doing something just with just enough excess to have an extreme amount of pleasure. But once again, it's el vaivén de la vida. You experience extreme pleasure, and then you are working, and then you are resting, and then you are working, and then you are experiencing pleasure. And this is how we do life. It's how we do life, and it's how we find balance. It's how we create balance in our world, but it's ever changing. So allow your life to be poetry in motion. It's changing, and it sometimes has a rhythm that then changes into another rhythm, and then yeah, okay, el vaivén de la vida. All right, so expresses soul insights in symbolic language. You might be creating art, some form of art. I'm seeing some of you painting, drawing, but either way, you're using symbols that you're experiencing in your imagination. You're using those symbols to create things, okay? You're seeing visions or illustrations in your mind, images in your mind of something that you will bring to life. And that goes back to this Four of Swords, where you're being guided to protect your mental energy and the energy of your imagination, so that it is divine, and you're using your imagination to create and to experience the best possible scenario of whatever you're going through in your life, okay? Okay, now with the shadow attribute, Divine is saying to guard your energy from anyone who might turn a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. So this feels like someone using their words to offend or to attack or to destroy. So, that can be done, and what's coming through, that can be done in a very slick sort of way. So sometimes when a person wants to offend you or get under your skin or get back into your energy, they'll say something slick. And it might be something that they say under their breath, or they say it in a nicey way, but you know that they're trying to throw major shade. But Anybody who has to do that feels extremely insecure. And this person doesn't realize that when they try to talk slick, they're revealing their own insecurities. Because you've seen this. You've experienced this. You've seen this person make a fool of themselves because they are so intent on trying to make someone else look like they're beneath them or look foolish or silly. Okay? Also, people who identify others that they want to bring down, there's something about that person that they're trying to bring down or shame that they want that attribute, that characteristic for themselves. So this is it always, I swear. When you have this destructive type behavior towards others, it's almost always from a place of jealousy and envy, which spawns from their own sense of insecurity. If you had a whole bunch of secure, confident people walking around, you would not have these issues with people trying to throw curses at each other and trying to tear one another down. They wouldn't feel that because they'd be too busy loving themselves, too busy loving their own path. But instead, they become obsessed with the path of others that they deem amazing and beautiful, but they're too ashamed to admit that. Don't let anybody's words bring you down, because words were meant to inform, to use as a source of connection and admiration, okay, of love. And if you have someone around you who's not doing that, even if it's in a slick sort of way, they might not come right out and call you all sorts of names and things like that, but low key, okay, they are definitely trying to throw shade. That's petty. That's petty, and you don't have time for it. What's coming through is that if someone has been feeling like something that you're saying is directed towards them, and you've been like, oh, let me monitor myself, let me censor myself. Divine says you don't have to censor anything as long as your number one goal is to build your own energy and to connect with the divine and to share that with others and to help others. That's it. As long as that is your goal, there's nothing that you should be ashamed to say or to put out there. And whatever experiences you have in your life, you have access to those, okay? A lot of narcissistic people think that everything is about them. There's somebody out there who thinks that what you say or what you post or what you share is directed towards them. That's called resonance. What you say, what you write, what you share, it resonates with them and it hits home. And it hurts a little bit because it does resonate. It's truly meant for them. It's meant to inspire change from the divine. I don't get from you that you are sending any negative energy to anyone, but whatever you have experienced in your life, that's something you can access your information from, your lessons learned from. That's where you're getting it from, because you've been through these experiences. So you have access to whatever it is that you need to access in order for you to follow your divine path. Don't allow anyone to censor you because of their insecurity or because of their true admiration for your work, because it does resonate with them. If they can't handle it, that's their problem. And if they can't handle it, they shouldn't be tuning into what it is that you create or that you share or trying to figure it out. They should just leave it alone if they can't handle it and respect it. Okay? So please don't censor yourself for anyone when it comes to what you know that you need to share and what you are at peace with sharing and aligned with the divine as you share. Okay? All right. Divine says big picture thinking is very important right now. Don't limit yourself to what you feel like you have to, like if you feel like you have to put yourself in a box creatively. That's like what I was saying just a minute ago about not censoring yourself. Okay, you have access to so many things. You are a visionary. You are a visionary. Divine is saying to press forward. Okay, if you're having a hard time with something right now, beautiful being, just press forward. Keep going forward. It is always your next move. And of course, we balance that with being in the moment and resting in this present and appreciating that and being grateful for that. But we also allow that to inspire us to make our next move, okay? Fall into my arms. This is about surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Yeah, so you've come through a very, let me get that in there. You've come through a very challenging time lately, beautiful being. And so divine is saying, okay, design, yeah, that comes through a lot. Design, you're designing something. It's unique, it's beautiful. Divine is saying to trust the ends of the spectrum that you have been to, that you have seen, that you have lived. There might be a part of yourself that you feel like you can't incorporate in your creative path. There might be a part of yourself or a part of your experiences that maybe there's still some shame there, okay? But divine is saying that you have evolved to the point now where you can push beyond that shame. You don't have to allow that shame to put you into a box and to limit what you are willing to create and what you're willing to share. It doesn't mean that you will share everything, okay? That's not a requirement. But Spirit is saying to trust that you have experiences and that you have lessons that you have learned that are so very worthy of embracing and sharing, okay? You don't have to share it all. You don't have to share it all, but be proud of it all, okay? Because even when you have done things that you realize later didn't serve you, you are always able to find a way to say, but I'm grateful for that. And that in and of itself is a gift, to be able to have gratitude for what you've experienced, okay? I want to ask Spirit, what awaits you? What awaits this beautiful being? Okay, so right there at the bottom of the deck, you had Oshun of the Dusk. This is my Oshun deck. Cycles, transition, closure. So there is something that has come to an end and you are moving forward. It's always your next move. That's what they're saying. That keeps coming through. It's always your next move. Thank you, Divine. What else is coming through to this beautiful being? Mama Oshun. Hashem Mama Oshun. Oshun of resurrection. Rebirth, transformation, and renewal. So that's what's coming to you, beautiful being. Renewal. Let me read that one. Also, Divine is pointing out like how when I wasn't getting a card and then I just paused and said, Hashem Mama Oshun. Divine is saying that you're getting your praise. Mama Oshun loves to be adored. You have adoration that's coming to you. And that's something that you have learned to, I wanted to say expect, but it's more about you knowing that you deserve admiration. It's not that if you don't get it from a particular person, you're distraught or you're going to try to ruin them. No, that's what the narcissists do. Okay. That ain't you. You know that you vibrate with the frequency of beauty and adoration. That's what you deserve. If you don't get it, you don't take that personal. You understand that that is someone who is not ready yet to see the beauty of you. And that's okay. But you are still beautiful. That's what you know. Okay? That's what you know. And this is a part of your resurrection. Okay, so this is card 5. You may have been seeing the number 5 lately. And also, this is about change. Okay, so you're experiencing change and rebirth and renewal like that other card that came through said. All right. I rise renewed and release what no longer serves me. Did you think your story was over? Think again. With the Oshun of resurrection at your side, you've been granted a rare second or third, even third chance. This is not just a new beginning. This is a resurrection, an opportunity to revive dreams that you thought were lost and to return stronger from setbacks. Life is a cycle of endless opportunities, and you're being offered a unique chance to redo, rethink, and renew. So, yeah, we just came out of Mercury retrograde not too long ago. Okay? So this is about the reflection that you have gained from a recent Mercury retrograde whenever you're seeing this, okay? Now you get to thrive because of those realizations that you made during that time. Now you're able to really do the damn thing, okay? And create unapologetically because of the reflections that you have made, the understandings that you've come to accept, okay? The things that you've been willing to understand and accept. This is all a part of your resurrection. You did this because you've been dedicated to your path. And you understand what you deserve, and a part of what you deserve is focus on what serves you. You don't have to be dismayed or dissuaded by any distractions that are sent your way. Okay, because those are just little tests, and you're going to pass them because you've already passed so many tests with flying colors. You're just going to keep doing it. Ashe. All right, beautiful being. I hope you enjoyed this message. Please be sure to like. Please be sure to leave a nice comment for me. Thank you so much. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and share this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I wish you peace, I wish you joy, and I wish you many, many blessings. Take care.